All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to be reacting to Elliot Scott's video about why being cold makes men commit and invest more. I generally agree with the statement. And now, unfortunately, what you have to understand is that there's a dichotomy. It's like you are a dish. And good dishes have cold aspect and warm aspects, right? It has bitter and sweet, right? Crunchy and soft. So with the cold, you have to have some warmth. You can't just be a goddamn Terminator with your guy and expect him to commit because you're cold. That's not how it works. What I believe he's going to talk about is how coldness elicits insecurity in people. And if somebody actually likes you, that insecurity is going to lead to them doing things that will try to impress you, that will try to make you, that will try to win you over per se, right? So let's see what he has to say, and I'm gonna give you guys my take, whether or not I agree with it. And if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, click on the description down below. We're having a holiday discount using the coupon code MINDFUL for coaching calls and to purchase my courses at 50% off. You can purchase my new course, Emotional Mastery, which is a 6-week meditation course on how to control your emotions. Or you can purchase my new course, Charisma Blueprint, which is a course about how to learn how to project charisma in a one-on-one setting and in a group setting. You can click in the description down below to purchase it, or I'm closing the channel. All right, so let's begin with the video.
Scott, and we are going to talk about why a woman who is a little bit more cold tends to be a little bit better with men. Now, I'm going to break down a lot of psychology here. I'm going to go deep into some topics, so let's jump right into it, okay? The first thing I want to preface this with is an example, like an analogy of a
All right, people, we're going to give him some crack to speed him up.
Negotiation. If you were working at Elliot Scott Enterprise, Elliot Scott Corporation, I'm opening the door, shaking your hand. Hey, Susie, what's going on? How are you? And we begin talking. And I start off saying, oh my God, Susie, you're everything we wanted. You will be a dream come true if you decide to sign on with us. I've been looking for ages and I could not find anyone like you or with your expertise and skill set. You are the missing puzzle piece. You are exactly what we need here, okay? And then I'm like, okay, now let's sit down and negotiate. How do you think that's going to go for me? It's not going to go well. You could, if you wanted to, ring me out and raise, your salary, your conditions, your paid vacation, whatever.
Hell yeah! Oh, man, I'll be like, oh really? Hand me a toothpick. Oh really? So, which child are you willing to give up for me to work for you? Which arm are you willing to give up? Anytime you come to people looking desperate, saying how you are the Messiah, the one that the prophecy speaks of, or you're the one for me, or you're perfect for me, that type of stuff, you make somebody feel way too cocky. Look, even though this guy is the golden dick you've been looking for your whole life, you gotta keep that to yourself. The Godfather said, never let anyone know, never let anyone outside the family know what you're thinking. Keep your things and your desires to yourself, because it could be used and will be used against you.
Susie, you got a lot of stuff you're bringing to the table, but god damn, like, come on, man, right? It's not going to go well for me. And in dating, it is no different. What you have to understand, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to change your mindset on what dating actually is. Ladies, I say it all the time. I want you to change your mindset on what dating actually is.
It's funny, we both scratched each other at the
Ladies,
same time.
I say it all the time. Women do not like this, but dating is transactional. Love is sacrificial. Love is where, you have to sacrifice things to keep it afloat, and how much you're willing to sacrifice, I think, to some extent.
Yeah, it is transactional. On the outside, it looks romantic and non-transactional. But on the inside, it really is transactional. There's literally gears going on and exchanges like a fucking stock market. And when you guys break up, it means it crashed. But on the outside, it's like, like a house. Everything looks beautiful, pretty, blah, 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 blah. But on the inside, there's things that are legit happening that's making it run. It's not running through magic, And the transactional part, which is the uncomfortable part about money, about how good looking you are compared to me, how do I know, or the thought of, is this the best that I could do? All of those things are the transactional parts that we try not to think of, but unfortunately, what's funny is that couples that are able to talk about the transactional part of relationships, usually don't divorce that much. Usually lead to longer marriages. Like couples who get prenups and who get very detailed prenups are the ones that last longer. As opposed to couples that don't get prenups and couples that have hazy prenups usually lead to more divorces. But what they say is that it's not the fact that getting a prenup makes them marry longer. It's the fact that they're willing to talk about those uncomfortable things and how that is a skill and how that is a foundation to their relationships.
It's not just this, but it's a piece of the pie.
So if you stay in the whole imaginary Disney, Narnia, fucking Santa Claus type of mindset that you think that love is not transactional and you just ignore that, then you're gonna have a problem. You're not really dealing with reality.
Shows how much you love and you're willing to, make sacrifice to make this work. And dating, again, is very transactional. Doesn't mean what I'm doing is not from the kindness of my heart. I just want something out of it too. There's just no reason for a man to heavily invest in a woman who is not his girlfriend unless he's getting something in it from or getting something in return. Now, again, that doesn't always have to be sex. It could be, hey, I'm trying to take you out because I'm trying to get in your pants. But it could also be, I'm trying to take you out to get to know you or to win you over, right? Maybe so you see me as boyfriend material. It can be that. But it has to be it is pretty transactional. And the reason I keep on using this definition or this word is you have to understand he's investing in you to get something out of it. Whether it's good or bad, right? That's subjective. Whether it's good or bad, but he's investing something to get out of you. I'm not saying be a cold B word. I'm not saying be, hard to read. But if you are making it extremely easy for a guy, okay.
Yeah, that's just being insecure. It's almost like a video game developer making it only having beginner mode because he doesn't want his players to struggle. What do you think is going to happen? The players are going to leave your dumbass game because it's too easy. We have to realize we're also like that. That is a real part of our brains that doesn't just operate in video games. It's what the flow state is when you meet something that is challenging and yet meets your skill sets. It's something that you could overcome. Like it's not too easy, but it's not too hard. You get in a flow state. Even with you, a guy could get in a flow state if you're attainable but not too attainable. And all you gotta do is just put some effort. Control your emotions. It only takes effort. And just willpower and self-constraint and learning how to control your emotions. Because when you pull away, the hard part about pulling away and being cold is just controlling your desire for intimacy and just holding on a little bit longer.
Then he doesn't even have to play the game. He doesn't have to play the game. He knows he has you. He's going to default into more of a laid-back mindset, which causes him to create a frame where he's the prize and you're still searching for the answer. Because think like this. If he plays his role correctly, which is, I'm not going to show her exactly where she stands. Again, you guys can flirt, laugh, have fun, compliment each other, all that. But if you don't know exactly where he stands or what he's looking for, let's just say you don't ask the questions or you're just blind on what you're seeing, okay? Well, then you're very ignorant in this current frame, in this game. But if you're leaning forward and showing all these signs and saying all the stuff I did in the example of, you work for Elliot Scott Enterprise, it's like revealing your cards. He's going to know, right, the hands you have, and he can act accordingly. So it's really important for a woman to play the game. This is why mystery and curiosity is so sexy.
People say, why you got to play a game? Well, it's not even a game. It's more of a dance. It's a flirt dance. Like you court her. The game is courting, And one aspect of courting is putting on a mask, is playing a game of showing her your best face, right? But also showing her that you don't need her. And what that says is that I have the emotional control to not be desperate for you. And that is valuable in a guy. That is valuable in a girl. And so you play the game to show them that you have the emotional control. And that's valuable. We don't want no psycho girls. We don't want Melissa the psycho looking at us with the fucking creepy eyes. So the game is all about showing them that you could play as well, because to play this game takes control. It takes a certain level of emotional control.
in a lot of things, whether it's some type of art like a movie or something, or just interactions. Curiosity draws us in. We want to know where we stand. We want to know what happens next. Humans need clarity. From an evolutionary perspective.
Yeah, humans don't like loose ends. That's something. If loose ends are like itches that you can't scratch.
Active, okay? We did not get as far stumbling, or this far as humans, stumbling our way. No, we had answers. If I saw a bush move, right, a little twitch in the bush, I didn't sit there and be like,
that's some good weed.
What that is? And like ignore or even ignore it and just sit there. No, if I saw it move, I had to react accordingly to it. Because if I sat there, I might have been okay, but there's a chance a lion would have jumped out from out of the bush, and I would.
Lions are not in the bush, Elliot. Lions don't do that. Lions are like, man, people keep thinking we just hide in bushes. No, Elliot, that's a jaguar. Or
not be here talking to you today, right? So I had to react and step back. Again, dating is no different. When you are a cold woman, you are harder to read. And when a guy already has some type of interest in you, what does this mean? He's going to reveal more.
Yeah, because he's revealing more. Like it's almost like he's calling it like a game of Texas Hold'em. He reveals a card. He's like, okay, I'm calling you out. Show me your cards, right? This is the thing, is that when you pull away and when you play hard to get. I mean, not hard to get. When you're cold, for me, the coldness is in these few things. Your face, you don't have to look like a Terminator like this. Just calm down your nonverbal cues. Just have it more like that. Like if you smile like this, you just smile like this, right? You learn to have this soft, relaxed demeanor. Make sure that you don't give them the look, just relax, like almost like you're at a business meeting, at least at first, right? And another thing, when they're asking you about where this is going, you just say you don't know, and make sure you let them know that you don't know them. And even if you're in a relationship with them, right, letting them know that one day this is gonna end one day, which is realistic. People don't like to hear that, but you let them know that, yeah, this could end one day. I don't know. Most relationships end. Letting them know and reminding them that this will end one day. If they say, baby, would you love me forever? You just say, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I got to find out. All of those things you might say, what? Why would you say that to someone? Well, it's because, humans in a weird way find that as a challenge. And it's just that what's human nature usually is kind of uncomfortable. Because this works. This works on many people. All right. So yeah.
He's going to invest more to try to get you to reveal it, because you have to think logically. There is a point of, I guess, diminishing returns for both of you. And what I mean by this is, if he keeps on investing and you don't cave in ever, well, it's diminishing returns for you, which means, or diminishing returns for him, which means, okay, I need to stop doing this. It's not paying off. And kind of vice versa. You will think it's a good idea, but you can only do this for so long before you actually lose him, because we want to know our investment is paying off. But the problem with a lot of you women is you're not even letting a guy invest.
Ooh, a lot of you women. Oh, yes, I fucking heard that. He's just like you, Alexis. God damn it.
Well, you think you do, but it's until you like him that you just open the floodgates. And we ain't talking about your legs. You just open the floodgates, right? And then the guy's like, oh, okay, I got her. This is easy, okay? So that's the first reason why I think not being cold, but I always talk about it in terms of intent versus premise. If you don't know what that is, check my guides. Links are down below. I go into a lot more detail on power dynamics, framing, context, intent versus premise, and all of that, again, down below. The second reason it's better to be colder is we are a species of risk avoidance. And again, I know I say this in a lot of videos, but I have to really beat this in. It's so important if you just change your mindset to this stuff, okay? We are a species of risk avoidance. And the reason I'm bringing that up here is, think of it like this. If I know you're a nice girl, if you're very telling in your behavior on what you're looking for, looking for in terms of intent, like you're looking for a relationship and you're wanting with me, not that you're just looking for a relationship, but you're wanting with me, that you really like me, you're giving off all these tells. if I was an emotionally unavailable man, wouldn't it be better to go after someone like you who is more giving, caring, forgiving? You might give me a lot more chances. Maybe you don't have.
Yeah, you don't, like I talked about in the video earlier, you don't get angry enough. That's a big part. Like anger is every nice girl's superpower. And every nice girl's remedy to their niceness, anger. Right? And yeah, it comes down to just anger. Like you just don't allow yourself to get angry enough. You forgive them too quickly because you're not angry enough. You forget about the bad things they did to you because you're not angry enough. You're not willing to follow through on the advice that I tell you and then tell people you watch my channel because you're not angry enough.
Have a lot more options. Maybe you're loving. Maybe you have a void to fill and something like that. Like wouldn't it lower my risk in terms of getting turned down or my ego bruised by going for someone like you versus a 10 who is playing actual hard to get? Of course it will. So women, I always tell my clients, they'll come to me and say, why do I keep on attracting the same type of guys? And it's 2 reasons. One, you have a horrible 3 reasons. A lack of self-respect. Like you don't have a standard. You think you do, but a lot of women, I'm not saying you.
Yeah. It's like, again, it's what you think you are versus what you really are. It's like how people rate their attractiveness. People never rate themselves based on how attractive they really are. So we have a tough time admitting that we have low self-respect. A lot of the times we have a tough time admitting that we have no self-esteem because we could just remember the things that we said, or we could just remember the few occasions that we did something that elicited respect. But when we have a self-concept about ourselves that does not meet reality, there's going to be a lot of suppression involved. There's going to be a lot of self-denial. And that self-denial tends to cause even more blind spots. And it takes a revelation of pain and suffering for you to really see how much you really value yourself. And a lot of times you'd be shocked how little we value ourselves. I was shocked how little I value myself until I actually looked at the results of my life, at the people that I was with, at the relationships that I tolerated. And I was like, you know what? I think I may not have as high of a self-worth as I think I do, because it's comfortable to think you have self-worth. It really is comfortable.
You don't. I'm saying people who can't even, you think you have a standard, you don't. Like cutthroats. You have to be cutthroat with that shit, number one. Number two, you have a bad filter, okay? Some people just have bad filters. You just don't see it. And 3, it's everything I'm saying right now. It's the fact that you're talking to these guys and you're nice and sweet and giving and loving and caring. They're going to take advantage of that. And you are going to be hurt because you're doing the moral thing, the righteous thing, and it's gonna kick you in the butt. From an evolutionary perspective, lying has a reward system. Now, I'm not saying.
Yep. And men are wired to lie better, and women are wired to identify lies better. So men are evolutionarily encouraged to promote themselves and hype themselves up to the point where it may not even be reality. Like, because guys are rewarded for lying because there's women who believe the bullshit. But women are wired to be able to identify false advertisement, and women who are naive are pretty much missing their most important tool, which is their lie detector. Their lie detector, and in fact, it even talks about how socially incapable these women are. Because if you're naive, you're gonna have a lot of enemies around you that you don't know are enemies that are biting at you. And
is lying to you, or that you should lie. But wouldn't it be better if you were playing a little, again, I hate saying games are hard to get, but if you were playing a little more mysterious, we'll say the word mysterious, you had a little bit more of a premise. Again, check the guys, you want to know what that is. But if you have a little more of a premise, if you were a little more mysterious and he was a little more curious, that will save you in so many ways. You're slowing the game down. You're getting a guy to invest more. You're spreading out the days and weeks so you can get more intel and filter him better. On top of that, you're not as gullible, okay? He has to invest. He's actually putting something in there. That is a much different game.
Oh, he's putting something.
If you were to just sit there and be like, oh, this guy's really investing. He's going 0 to 100. I know that sounds like a red flag, but I think he just, I watch Elliot's videos. He might be love bombing, but I feel like he just really likes me. He's a good guy. There's something different about this one.
Nothing good starts off at 100%. If you give birth to a baby, and that baby starts doing backflips and fucking cartwheels, you got a problem. You better hold that baby down. That might be a titan. Everything good starts one step at a time. anytime you see a relationship start fast, there is something about to happen. The rumbling is about to happen. Nothing fast ever lasts. Nothing fast ever lasts, people.
Say that shit all the time. There's something different about this guy. But guess what? The same shit will happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will turn out happily ever after. But you don't know that. And whenever you're curious, right, you take on the burden of risk. I always say a hopeful woman or a confused woman is a hopeful woman. The same with a man. If you want a man to invest more, he has to be curious. There's no reason for me to invest in you if I know I have you. That is just wasted resources. Okay. So
that makes a lot of sense. If I already have you, there's no reason for me to invest more. That is very true. You know? And this, like I said, this just takes effort on your part. Like, it really does. It's all about not saying certain things, not being there at a certain times, and how long it takes for you to respond to things. Generally speaking, being patient and taking things slow and slowing things down is your best approach. And always having your hand on the trigger to pull away, to leave, to walk away, right? When you have that mindset that you're willing to leave, but that also you're taking it slow, you're slowing him down, you're communicating to him that the reality that this might end one day, that you could find someone, or he could find someone as well any day, and this could be over. Reminding them of that reality, and just having the willingness to walk away, and lowering your nonverbal cues, learning to speak a little bit slower, move a little bit slower, even fucking blink slower, people. All of those things will give you a mysterious coldness. But just make sure that you're not emotionally closed down, right? Always be one step behind him. If he confesses his love to you, then you do the same thing if you really love him. If he pulls away a little bit, then you pull away. If he shows interest at a 10, you show interest at a 9. You're always one step behind, right? But just to make the relationship work, just say yes. You know, don't be mean to him. You know, don't go too far in pulling away. That also backfires. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Later on, I'm gonna be making another video. Thank you for watching yesterday's video. Yesterday's video was one of my favorite one about anger, and really revealing, to be honest with you. I got that concept because I was talking to a client. Talking to clients really gives you a lot of material, people. And I've been getting a lot this month. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out Elliot Scott. He's been around for a long time. Subscribe to him, and I'll see you guys next time.